sometimes we become so obsessed with the exotic that we forget the spirits living right on our doorstep. Perhaps it is because they are so common or ordinary that we tend to ignore them as we do everything else in our day-to-day, the way most people just drift through life, never noticing the small beauties. But this is a mistake, especially as witches. There's this constant pressure to acquire more tools, more baubles, more things, to build the perfect altar, the perfect practice. I too have long lusted after the glorious and magnificent items of art, witching and the Gothic. But animism cannot survive if we only recognize spirit in what is rare, what we don't have. Sometimes the old spirit in a chipped teacup has more to say than anything exotic ever could. There are stories in the bones of pigeons and rats, and there are stories in old keys and twisted chords. These stories are a doorway into the spirit world, into recognizing the sacred in the everyday, and to truly living an animistic life. I think since the world became awash in AI, things have become even more fraught than what social media already was. Things feel shallow, hollow, and empty, and we are still looking for a way to fill those empty spaces. Endless images, endless performance. We consume symbols of nature while becoming increasingly estranged from the living world itself. Some people perhaps feel comfortable in the shallow. I never did. I've always wanted to go deeper, dig deeper and deeper into the soil and get my nails dirty with all the dark and hidden things below. I've told before of my long-distance love affair with Cornwall in Ireland and my Polish heritage. However, I believe it is folly to forget the creatures and beings of the land we live on, the ones which were born and carved from the ancient soil upon which we stand. The old spirits are hidden deep inside of our bones and can be accessed through folklore, mythology, and lived experience of walking the land. My own practices are largely influenced by European folkloric witchcraft and European fairy tales. I'm intrigued by dragons who hide their treasure and the serpent of the land whose potency is found in spirit tracks and the crooked path. And while I engage passionately with these practices, and I am relearning some of the ancestral knowledge and traditions, I am still drawn to honor the spirits and beings of this place and this time. I read voraciously, diving into rabbit holes, the poison path, the old folk magic, the folklore of animals and plants, and I plumb those depths to bring them into my practice in the here and now. But it is not the physical book that is the most important, although don't we all love a gorgeously Gothic tome. It is the travelling in time and space to converse with another, to read and feel their thoughts and feelings, and be absorbed in their world and mind for just a while. And when you cannot find it in books, as the heart of witchcraft does not lie within any book, you look inside. You look inside the very nature of things. You stop and listen. You observe the movements of birds, the flow of rivers, the growing of plants, the sounds of the world around you. And you speak with them. You sing to them. You write for them. You touch them and grow them and build a relationship with them, because that is where the magic lies. My life isn't polished. I don't have a perfectly curated home, a perfectly curated garden, a perfectly curated practice. Life is messy and extremely expensive. The last thing I want to be worrying about is if my life is pretty enough for the consumption of others. So when I catch myself longing for what I don't have, I brew some tea and sit in my favorite spots and speak with the spirits that are there, the spirits that sit amongst old jars and bottles, who have settled into the spines of old books and bones, the spirits that dance by the doorstep as I bring them gentle offerings of water and milk.